Copy.
We are YouTube Live.
Welcome to the Prospectors Radio Show, the talk show for our community. Please welcome Rich Cooley, Indiana Gold Hunter Dennis Dayton, Kathleen Biffle, and your host, Tim Grimes.
All right, everybody, welcome back to another Sunday night show here on Prospector Radio. We got somebody very special joining us tonight. You all know him. He's been here before. Mr. Kevin Hoagland's hanging out with us. Going to be sharing some stories with us and a little bit of info, what he can. So on that note, what's up, Kev?
Everything, man. It has been just a whirlwind. See, my mic's working now.
It's working now. Weird. Strange way that works out.
I get a funny feeling there were some red bars across the meter somewhere on that one. Yeah, it's just, getting ready for the gold shows. The GPA gold shows got all that going. I've been on a whirlwind tour from one coast to the other coast. And of course, right behind me, the Lost Aztec gold show's getting ready to come out. I haven't seen really any of it. There's a whole lot of backstory on that one too. And it's really cool.
When I seen the previews on the History Channel, it said, if I'm just correct me if I'm mistaken, it said 3 families. Right. And so is your family with you on there too?
No, actually, the Chris Haig Chris and I have been working together about 20 years now. Mm-hmm. And Chris and I the guy is family. The guy is absolutely my brother. And that's the way that they've always looked at it. And he's not my family. He's not blood. Right. But he is absolutely my brother. That's all there is to it, and we have these incredible conversations and it wasn't really a chance. I don't believe in just chances. I think we were kind of just led to each other because I was working south and he was working north. Mm-hmm. And then we just started working together years and years and years ago. Wow. On this. And I don't know. I think everybody knows I kind of keep like treasure hunts and lost mines and things like that. I've always kept them pretty close to the vest. Right. And this is something that actually started about 40 years ago when I started thinking about, I was hearing all these stories and reading all these different things about Aztec gold and Cortez and De Vaca and Coronado and all of this. And a lot of it made sense to me, but some of it didn't. Mm-hmm. And I'm a miner. So I wanted to look at it and I started thinking about some different things. And as I started thinking about it in that realm, I was actually putting things together in my head. And I started researching those very quietly. And it's just been in the last 5 or 6 years that I've really been able to expand and travel and do some different things in different places and take a look at some different things. And I think that's what really prompted all of this for Chris and I both to really go public on what our thoughts are.
See, that's pretty cool. I was kind of surprised. And do you know how many episodes there's going to be of it yet? Do you know any of that information that you can share?
The first season is 8 episodes, I believe. Might be more. I've filmed before, so I don't know what the actual final line will be. Right. Believe me, for this group that we were working with, which was one of the most incredible groups of people that I've ever worked with, I feel like we probably filmed enough to do 4 seasons. So
now is this going to be more like a serious show, or is this going to be like a lot of that drama crap like we see on, like, say, Gold Rush? Or is this going to be just seriously, this is what we're doing?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons, and to me it was the main reason that I even agreed to do this show, because I get a lot of calls. I've had a lot of calls in the past, and when the production company reached out to me, one of the things that was said is, we want you to tell your story. Okay. And that made a huge difference to me. And when I talked to the showrunners and the people from A&E and all of this, it was it's letting us tell our story and what we've done and the things that we've done. And yeah, of course, there's a couple of things we have to back up and kind of show and do these things, because it sets of what, some of these things that have put Chris and I on these paths that we've been on for all the years that we've been working together. I mean, we've met kind of in the middle more than once and done some things, and just, it's just been really good to work with a group of people. And like I said, the group that we've had that we worked were absolutely amazing. And one of the things that I loved is that, they would sit us down and we would talk about what we were doing in a particular area. And then they would basically create the show around what we were doing.
Okay.
And what our thought process was and what we were going to do. So, that way they knew where to put a camera and where to shoot it and where to do this. And I think one of the funniest things is that Chris and I have worked together for so long that we, a lot of times, and if you've worked with somebody for a long period of time, there's a lot of times you just don't have to have verbal communication.
Right.
And we would just be doing something, and I would laugh because I would, one of the cameramen or one of the producers that was in wherever we were would say, we don't hear you. And I would realize that we're doing things and we're just not talking about it. So, we'd have to back up a little bit. We'd have to give an explanation of what we're doing. And, using words like when we were looking at a mine, using the word like adit. Well, okay. Everybody in our industry knows what an adit is, but people out there that will be watching the show, hopefully watching the show, that don't have any idea, they don't know what an adit is. So that changed into an entrance. And that was something I had to work on because I've never called it an entrance. It's always been an adit. So, there was these little things where we were reminded that there was going to be people watching the show that are not us, that are not miners. So
you got to teach them. You got to teach them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of things that go on, and it was an amazing experience, and it is an absolutely amazing experience. And the day I talked to so many people and we did so many things that before I signed that contract to do the first season, I knew what we were getting into.
Right.
And, there's a couple of things that Chris and I'd let my hair down. There's a couple of times that we just had, we just had a lot of fun, but more importantly, we put pieces together. And I believe that when people watch this, they'll understand exactly where my head was 40 years ago, and why I've taken this path that I've taken for so long.
Yeah, pretty cool. So how long was the filming process, Kevin?
It was a little bit over a month. I mean, just for the first season. And I just can't even imagine, because, we're doing segments. The show is broke up in between 3 groups, and 3 teams, 3 families, however they're going to lay that out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you're shooting a 42 or 43 minute show. You're shooting these segments. You're shooting, like 20-minute segments or things like that. And then I don't understand everything on the backside of that. I've always stayed out of that side, although it's something I've always wanted to do.
Right.
But haven't you shot your own videos and did the same thing? You shoot a segment and you edit, shoot another segment.
Sure. Kind of absolutely. Absolutely. And that's fine when I'm doing my own, but when you're working with multiple camera people and the sound guy, Danny, that was just one of the most amazing sound guys I've ever worked with in my life. It's a different mindset, because when I'm doing it myself, I'm talking, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm talking, and Chris and I are both talking. We're going through these things in our head. We're trying to figure out how to get a piece of equipment to work. Pardon me. Mm-hmm. We're trying to figure out how to get equipment to work and these things. And we're verbalizing that, but we have to verbalize it to where everybody can understand what we're doing. Instead of, hey, hand me that 1/2-inch wrench.
Right.
It's, hey, hand me that half-inch wrench. I need to tighten this up so we can have this happen in the long run.
Right.
So it was there. It was just different. It was different. It was just amazing. It's been an amazing process. I hope everybody loves this thing because it has been an incredible labor for all of us that have been involved. And I just, like I said, I've always been really quiet about the things that I do like that.
Yeah. I never talked too much about it.
Yeah. I chased that mine for 30 years, that lost mine for 30 years. And when I found it, I wrote an article about it, and that made me feel better about, really talking about these things and really putting those things out. Is I've had some incredible experiences and I love sharing them. I'm getting to where I really do like to share things like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We like hearing about it. So, and it premieres this month, don't it?
Yes.
Like in 2 weeks or a week or something?
Tuesday, the 29th.
Okay. So like the end of the month.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Mark your calendar.
And that's on A&E?
No, it's on History
Channel.
On the History Channel.
Yeah.
What?
History Channel.
Yeah.
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 And
I'll have to be pushing the old record button on that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I said I look forward to watching it. I think.
I'm gonna have to push the record button, make sure I don't miss it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing it because you put in all of this work, and it's because when Chris and I laid out a lot of the stuff that we wanted to make sure that we accomplished in these things, it was in a huge area,
right?
So there would be days where we're shooting in this one spot that would end up being in probably 1 or 2 or 3 episodes. So in my head, everything is not linear. There's nothing that's linear. So I have absolutely no idea what any of this is going to look like when it comes out. Yeah. I have no idea.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just pretty cool.
Yeah. And nor do we have any idea what's going on with the other groups.
Families. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of weird because Chris and I both know one of the people in one of the other families, but none of us are talking to each other. I mean, if we talk, we just talk about this or we talk about that. But when it comes down to what they're doing and what we're doing, no questions asked.
I got you.
Yeah.
Say, pretty cool though.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Long overdue.
Yeah, I like the premise. And again, like I said, I love the people that we're working with because they want to hear our story.
Yeah.
And there are times where they go, okay, guys, you said you talked for 4 minutes and we don't understand the word that you said.
Right.
Yeah. So we'd have to do, we would have to stop and think about it and go, okay, how do we put this into terms where it's not mining and geology and being underground or being above ground or doing this or doing that? And there were times that we just had to stop and get it to where it was understandable because Chris and I both are miners. I mean, that's what we do. So it was, we want to make this to where everybody understands it. I don't want anybody to watch an episode of it or watch a 5-minute segment of it and just sit there and go, what?
What?
Right.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
Yeah. Those were some big words for a couple of guys covered in dirt.
Yeah. What the hell? Man. So Spanish gold.
More than that.
Oh, ooh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. I always like when new gold shows or treasure shows come on. So, I know I'm wrapped up in Oak Island. I know Dennis is too.
Kevin, is it like Arizona, Mexico area, or you can't really say, or?
Right now I can't say.
Okay, that's fine.
Because I don't think I can say. Here's the funny thing is, I just got tied up with the less than 4 or 5 days ago. Just got tied up with the people that handle all of that for the network, and sure. Of course, I've done stuff before, so I know what I can't say.
Right.
And the way I opened up the conversation with them is, "Hi, gang. I know what I can't say, but can somebody tell me what I can say?"
That's the key.
So, you know, so
Very good point.
for me, it's and I'll tell you what, this is the easiest way that I can describe it for myself over all these years. It's been a multi-country search for me.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's things you can say, things you can't say. We understand.
Yeah.
You know, definitely understand. We don't want you saying nothing you can't say.
Yeah. Yeah. Because hey, I would like to see season 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So.
Now,
Can you tell me one thing?
Nope.
I can try.
Are you a millionaire yet?
Right.
Okay, so I guess he did the big load. But you're halfway there, right?
Can't say.
No. You know, it's I
Find any wood?
find any wood.
Any oak.
Oh.
Any old timbers.
You find
Yeah.
it.
See?
Yeah.
It's common in treasure hunting, Scott. You find old wood.
I guess. It's never been rumbling for treasure.
Kevin, what do you think about Oak Island? You're a treasure hunter.
You know, I love the concept. I love the idea. I believe that there is something on Oak Island.
See? Okay, good.
I truly believe. I believe that there's something there, but there's a part of me that says, stand back, really stand back, and try to put different eyes to it, completely different eyes. And quite frankly, I mean, that's what I had to do when thinking about Aztec and Coronado and Cortez and De Vaca and all of this. I had to step back and just look at it from completely different eyes. And that's what I did 40 years ago. And it has led me down a path that I feel has been very rewarding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because when you look at it from a miner standpoint, you know about all this gold and all these other things that are supposedly there. If you're a miner, what's the first thing you think of? I can't say this, but if somebody says it, I'll nod my head.
Wait a minute. Gold?
Oh,
From a mining standpoint.
Wait.
what's the question again? What?
Yeah, I'm confused now.
Okay. My mindset when I started looking at this years and years and years ago and looking at it from a miner is that understand there's these vast masses of gold. So to me, the best thing for me to do was to look at it from a mining standpoint and try to figure out where the gold came from.
Right?
Uh-huh.
There you go. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, but on Oak Island, it's supposed to be dropped off there.
But still,
Absolutely.
it came from
Absolutely.
somewhere, though.
Right.
Now,
It came from somewhere.
you know what's
Right.
really funny is because speaking about Kevin's outside the box outlook, I think about this is the reason why I think this show is so funny because they're actually digging on the island because that many years ago when people were showing up, the island was bigger. It erodes. So they're probably looking, what, 700, 800 yards inside shore when they should be looking under the water.
Well,
There's a good argument for that.
I mean, islands erode. That's what happens.
yeah, but if you watch it from the beginning, you'll see, Scott, that there was old diggings and stuff from where people knew where this so-called money.
Hey, Tim,
was.
how long's this show been going on?
Quite a while now.
Okay, is there any gold that they found? Anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not a little freaking coin that somebody dropped because they were
No,
freaking running,
they
tiptoeing
found a
through the tulips.
gold that they put in that machine to have it tested. You could even see the shiny on it, and it verified that was gold.
I'm just saying.
Coming right out of the big metal tube they stuck in the ground, where Franklin Roosevelt was digging, where they sit down close to the money pit. Well, they found 2 pieces of actual gold.
If there's any treasure around that island, it is under water right now. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Water has risen over the decades, over the century. So
Can't beat
Joining-
science. Can't beat science.
All right, Bill Nye. I just put an X on the spot for him.
Joining the curse of Oak Island in 2023 will be Scott Swiftwater Tony.
Also known.
I'll be like Dan. It's over. It's over there.
That's what you're saying. Yeah. Just saying. Think it's over there.
No, but you know what? Just being like, I'm a science guy. I got reasonable. I can think through things really quick. You gotta understand. An island erodes.
right.
You got hurricanes. You got tropical storms, dude. That stuff. That's not the same island that used to be back in the day when people were trying to stash galleons there or something. It's out in the water now. It's whether or not-
Want to be out on this dredge saying it's right here. It's right here.
Remember,
Oh, you actually.
people
you gotta-
brought stuff in. They didn't stop at the shoreline and drop it off there. They took it up on the island.
Right.
You know, where you're in the woods, where in case there's someone else on another ship with their scope looking, you know what I mean? Where they can't see. So
Well,
even if water did rise, it didn't rise enough to where that money pit's supposed to be.
Yeah.
well, Dennis, I'm just saying, you know what? They got one more city block to dig up, and after that, there's no more island because you can only dig up an island so much.
Well, that's
They'll
not
find it.
necessarily true, man. I mean, when you really think about it, and let's do the science here. Let's talk about the science. I used to do with when I was helping with some of the kids in some of the science classes. One of the things I would do is I would take a 5-gallon bucket and I'd put a 2-ounce lead shot, something that I'd shot off in the water, on top of that bucket of sand, just play sand. And I'd seal that bucket up at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, I'd come back in, we'd open up the bucket, and we would have to dig down to find that piece of lead. And it was always flat. So the earth is always moving. There's things that are happening. So burying something on an island at 10 foot deep, and with the vibration of the island, and all islands, you've got a bedrock, but you don't know exactly what that structure is.
You got fault
There's
lines.
there's nothing that says that if I buried something right here, that over the last few hundred years, that it didn't go way down and didn't move left or right or north or south or east or west. I mean, there's nothing that can say that didn't happen.
Right.
Because when you think about think about the standard vibration of the earth, the fact that I can put a 2-ounce piece of slug of lead in a 5-gallon bucket with sand in it and come back 9 months later, and it's 4, 5, 6, 7 inches down in that sand, that says a lot for what happens on this earth. And if you get if you get a 500-pound treasure chest, man, that thing's that's the geologically speaking, man, that's an E-train right there.
Yeah, agreed.
yeah, it's kind of like the same thing with the in Arizona, you got the dry washes. Back 100 years ago, it was up here.
Right.
Now today it's down here.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah. And I don't know. I think there's, like you said, there's a parking lot left to dig up on that island. I don't believe that. I believe that there's still so much more to be able to do. So much more to be able to do.
I think they have to expand out in the water where the island used to be, not where the island is now.
Sure.
Just like today, I don't dig where the gold is now. I dig where the gold used to be.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
Right.
I just think, I know it's a good show and Dennis Dayton loves it and everything like that, but I don't believe they're going to find anything worth a real accomplishment throughout the time that they've spent on the island.
But you know what? If they find another clue that leads them somewhere else, and the treasure hunter mentality is, and I really love the movies, the National Treasure movies and different things like that. The one thing I always loved about those movies is that you may find the treasure, but what you're finding are the clues that take you to the next place, the thing that takes you to the next turn, the next place to go look. And to me, that's what's kept me chasing these things for years. The one that I hunted actively that my grandfather talked about was when he was a law enforcement officer. There was my great grandfather was a first elected law enforcement officer of the state of Oklahoma. So when Oklahoma became a state, and then he was a county marshal or the town marshal, and right in the Robbers Cave area. And he told me, and I've never met him, but my grandmother told me the story about this whole case of Sharps 50 caliber rifles that disappeared that never showed back up. So I've looked for that thing. I've gone through Robbers Caves, everything else.
Yeah.
Never really talked about it. I told a couple of people about it, and I got a phone call about a year and a half ago from Paul. And Paul said, "Hey man, I hate to tell you this. Somebody found the rifles." And I was thrilled. I was absolutely thrilled to death that somebody found the rifles. And I haven't talked to the person or anything else, but I would love to find the steps that they found, that they did to actually find it. Did we cross paths at one point or another?
Right.
Yeah.
Was you on the right path at one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool to know.
Well, in an interesting intersection between people that's looking for the same thing. It's not uncommon, but it's not really. It's not every day you do that,
No, it's not.
Like about that, like a box of Sharps rifles. Now, there's not a whole lot of people. There's a whole lot of people that heard about it, but there ain't a whole lot of people looking for it.
Right.
Well,
Right.
how about the Dragoon pistols that got lost over here and just outside of Superstitions?
Yeah.
What is it?
The Dragoon pistols.
I never heard nothing about them.
Kevin, you probably heard of it.
Well,
I've heard of it, but I've heard of so many different things. I pick and choose. I
Mhm.
know that there was a bunch of Dragoons that disappeared, but that's really about it. I never really followed it. Anything that has to do with the Superstitions is just kind of out of my bucket.
It's underwater now, supposedly.
In Arizona, underwater in Arizona.
Yeah.
You mean somebody threw them in Lake Pleasant?
Well, now you got to think about this. Back in the day in Arizona, do you think only one box of pistols or ammunition or rifles ever got stolen? I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think there was more than one.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, we're talking probably wagon loads at one point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was over in the Roosevelt Dam area, where before the water hit,
That would be before there was a dam there too,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Supposedly there was a few cases missing during an Indian attack.
So they'll never be found. Then.
Well, no,
Okay.
because the Indians took them.
Oh, it's underwater.
If it's underwater,
They're not underwater. That's how they got the insurance. They just wrote that off. It's underwater. The Indians got them. Quit lying.
Well, and see, Scott, that's the thing, and that's what intrigues me about some of these things is that everything had a serial number.
Right.
Somehow or another, it had a serial number. And it's like this case of Sharps 50 calibers, 25 rifles, not a single serial number ever appeared.
really?
Same way with those pistols. If there's never been a single one of those pistols pop up, then you can't say that they were found by natives or anything else. I mean,
There was always a serial number on the gun.
yeah,
Right when it come off the line. Tink, tink, tink.
yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just kept going.
right.
So you would think if the Indians had them, though, somebody would have had one of them pistols by now.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yeah, but you got to remember, you have to have the people that saves them, that actually knows what they are, that cares for them to reach the time period that we are now. Back in the day, somebody, it's just junk, throw it out in the garbage or throw it in a dump pile or something like that. It's just no gun. We don't need that. They never had the mentality to think about what it is worth today.
Well, no, it's not a matter of what it's worth today, but believe me, if a serial number ever popped up, they would know. Somebody would know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody would try to check. Somebody would try to check serial number 0007,
Right.
and that would pop up, because I'm sure that every stolen military weapon going back to the beginning of time of record keeping, which
Mhm.
goes well back into the days of the cavalry and the Revolutionary War and everything else. When they were issuing things, somebody knows something somewhere.
Right. But I'm not just talking about the money sake. I'm also talking about the historical sake too. Like, there was Pistol 7 that went to General whoever down in somewhere land, and you never can tell about that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the historical thing. Yeah, this is really cool because if it passed, there's got to be more.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, that's where it gets so weird when you start talking about treasure hunting or looking for these different things like that, because it's, you've got those of us that look at something, okay, you know what, there's something here. We just don't know how to look at it yet. Then you've got Scott going, it's in the water, guys.
It's in the water. Just saying.
So,
the island was bigger. It's not now. In the water.
now it's a process, that all those years that I spent finding that lost mine, incredible process, and then a few of the other things that I've hunted for. We'll
All
just
right.
leave it at that.
Hey.
There's been a few of those other things that it's the process and it's the thought process, and it's being able to be really linear until it's not time to be really linear anymore, and then just be able to just go whatever direction feels right in your gut, and more importantly, what starts to make sense.
I got you.
Yeah,
but it's hard to follow your gut sometimes. That.
Oh yeah, it is hard to follow your gut, especially when the science says this happened this way and this way and this way, and I'm pretty freaking analytical no matter what. There are times one of my best friends says, "Oh, what mood are you in today? Are you being human, or are you just zeros and ones today?" So, but there are times where you want to argue with that 0 and 1 when you know that it's right, until you just figure out that there was a 0 in the wrong spot.
All right.
Sometimes you just got to give up on the analytical and just let your gut tell you.
Yeah, and follow your gut. Sure.
That's like, there's sometimes I look at places, I'm like, man, I'd never dig gold there. That's just crap. And then you take like 4 steps and you go, but if I didn't, I'd look like an idiot if there was something there.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's go back.
Yeah, it's I get it. And if you don't find gold there, somebody will think you're an idiot because you went and looked. No, they shouldn't.
Right.
They should never think about that. It's like that thing I posted on my Facebook. The problems with getting into a fight with an old man. If you beat up an old man, then you beat up an old, you're going to get beat up for you. Everybody's going to make fun of you because you get beat up. You beat up an old man. If you get beat up by an old man, everybody's going to laugh at you because you got beat up by an old man. So it's one of those things you can't win.
Exactly.
Right.
So you can't win. So just do it and don't care.
So now that you've conquered this monster, any future plans for any other big things you might be looking for?
I will tell you that this monster is not conquered. This monster is not conquered. No, okay. This monster has been moved forward faster than we ever could have.
Okay.
On our own. And there's a lot more there. I thought I had some things that I absolutely knew, and this is by the 0s and 1s that I was wrong.
Wow.
I was wrong.
Okay.
It's just a matter of opening up the eyes and looking a little further, and then also looking a little bit closer. Look more for the beginnings. Look at the beginnings to understand the outcome. Is really what a lot of that has been for me. It's gang. It's going to be an amazing journey. It's going to be an amazing journey.
Kevin, what's the biggest like treasure that you've found, or have you actually found a treasure on paper? You know what I'm saying? Like when somebody says it's a treasure, have you found like that certain something, or what's the biggest thing that you consider a treasure that you have found?
Not necessarily from the show, just in general.
Yeah, no, not for the show. Just like personally, like you've been doing stuff for a lot of years.
You're not going to think that this really sounds like something that big of a deal, but I will tell you, and I think I've mentioned it before, to me, one of the greatest finds that I've ever had beyond any gold or anything else was a little die cast car.
Yeah. Yep.
That little die cast car that I found, that when I put it back in the hands of the owner, who was in his 60s, the story behind it was just amazing. It had been given to him when he was a little kid, and his dad was killed. It was given to him on his birthday, and his dad was killed like within days. Oh. And he threw it. He threw it as far as he could. So emotionally and for recovering something that meant so much for somebody and became a part of my life was that little die cast car.
That's pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was tough because that was the first time I actually wrote an article about finding something. And it was a tough article to write. And I didn't work for GPA at that time. I was working for Mine Lab, and I just told a story about something that just affected me so deep that it actually changed my life.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Kind of like when I found a class ring out in San Diego Bay that somebody lost back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
He was in the Navy, being able to send it back to him clear across the other side of the country.
Yeah, but 15 years later, you find somebody gives you something back that you lost 50. Come on. You're like, wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love being a part of Ring Finders. To me, that's just something that's so cool.
It is cool. That's real cool.
And I know, Scott, that's not the answer you wanted. You wanted me to tell you the story about the cash that I found down in Mexico, and managed to smuggle it back across the border and so on like that.
No. That's not what I was talking about. I wouldn't talk anything about that. I was just talking like what's the biggest treasure you found? That's the biggest treasure you found. That's the one you savored the best. So that's the story I wanted. You did good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Or the one about Mexican Pocket, the Mexican Pocket up above Sedona.
This is about time we go to a commercial, shall we, Tim?
Oh.
We can. Do you need a commercial, Scott?
Hit that commercial, baby.
Oh, goodness. Good Lord.
We're still live during the commercials, right?
Yes, we are. So
okay, I'll remember.
All right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back, everybody. Yeah, a couple minutes.
Do you like to mine for gold? Enjoy prospecting a nice crack in the bedrock? Enjoy getting outdoors to camp, fish, hunt, and hike on your public lands? You plan your trip, load the gear, grab the dog, put the family in the truck, and drive off to a locked gate. A sign says you cannot enter or access your own public lands. Mining claims and public land owned by we the people are being designated as off limits by our own government every single day. Are you concerned about the direction our government government is going? Are you tired of seeing no access, no entry signs on your lands? We are, and we are fighting back. We are AMRA, America Mining Rights Association, the fastest growing small mining advocacy association in America. AMRA is a 501c3 not-for-profit formed by miners, hunters, off-roaders, retired military men and women to stop the insanity. AMRA was formed to educate, unite, and help the small miners and public land users on their rights given to us by God. Do you want access to great mining claims? For a small tax-deductible donation to their Miners Legal Fund, your family gains access to proven excellent mining claims across America for an entire year. AMRA challenges the USFS, BLM, EPA, and the other agencies intent upon stopping you from enjoying your own lands. You are who pays these people's wages. It is time they listen to us. We need to unite. And that is what AMRA is doing. As you sit here right now, thousands of acres of public lands are being closed, locked, and blocked from use by you. Are you fed up yet? Join us. Get in on this fight and let's restore America to what our families fought and died for. Freedom. Just visit AmericanMiningRights.com. AmericanMiningRights.com. Also, check us out on Facebook at American Mining Rights Association. AmericanMiningRights.com.
In 1858, gold was discovered in the rivers of New Caledonia. This discovery would spark a massive gold rush. Today, the search for gold is much easier, yet still challenging with Dirt Hog Pay Dirt. At Dirt Hog, we pride ourselves on our gold and guaranteed gold amounts. Just visit DirtHogPayDirt.com today and buy yourself a bag of the best pay dirt concentrates on the market. Order with confidence in Canada and North America. DirtHogPayDirt.com, the best gold concentrates on the market, period. Also, be sure to check out our Honest Bonus program.
If you're interested in gold prospecting or treasure hunting as a career, hobby, passion, or just something you're interested in getting into, you have to visit goldprospectorspace.com. At goldprospectorspace.com, you'll find forums, chats, videos, blogs, sections on dry washing, metal detecting, high banking, and so much more. At goldprospectorspace.com. There's a store, classifieds, and at goldprospectorspace.com every Sunday night at 7:30 Eastern Time, tune in to Prospectors Radio, the talk show for gold prospectors and treasure hunters. GoldProspectorspace.com is a social network with thousands of members, and everything you need is at GoldProspectorspace.com. Sign up today and get connected to others who share your love of gold and gold prospecting. Let the treasure hunt begin at GoldProspectorspace.com. GoldProspectorspace.com.
All right, everybody, we're back with special guest tonight, Kevin Hoagland. All right, where was I at? Or where was we at?
I was trying to find my mute button.
Trying to find my background button.
Oh, hold it.
So you were traveling there, Mr. Hoagland. You said you went to Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, gold shows.
Gold show time.
Coming back. The return of the gold shows. I'm
Are you sure
really excited.
Are you sure
Really,
it's not
really
the cold
excited.
shows?
I'm sorry?
Are you sure it's not the cold shows?
Oh, man. I left Arizona in like high 70-ish weather. Flew to Portland, got a rental car, drove up to Puyallup. Puyallup. My sister screams at me every time I mispronounce it. And it was cold and rainy, and I drove back down to Portland. I had a meeting with all the chapters up in Washington. Went back down to Portland, had a Monday night meeting with all of the folks there. And then I was going to fly out on Tuesday. Sunday. It snowed in Portland or in Battleground, Washington. And I mean, not little snow, big snow, big. They weren't snowflakes. They were snow chunks. And I was just telling everybody, I'll be so glad when I get back to Arizona. It's wonderful weather and everything else. I came back, got back that late afternoon, Drove home, had the windows down. It was beautiful. Woke up the next morning. It freaking snowed in Wickenburg.
Brought it back with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it was just,
How was Puyallup?
it was wet and cold. I took the right jacket, left it at my sister's house,
Nice.
which was a big mistake because I had to fly to Ohio. Now, the day I left Arizona to go to Ohio, it was like 78 degrees.
Uh-huh.
I got off the plane at like 9:30 at night, and it was 12.
Yep. Welcome to Ohio.
Yeah, and I didn't have a rental car. I didn't even, because I was staying at the same place where I had a conference room at the hotel.
Right.
So everybody was coming there the next morning, and it was great. I mean, people showed up, but they failed to tell me that the restaurant in the hotel was still not open.
Oh.
So I had two choices. I could walk to the Waffle House. Not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Or I could walk like 3/4 of a mile to a little gas station that had a Subway in it.
There you
So
go.
that was the choice. I got back and took hot washcloths and put them on my ears. My ears were frozen. So they got to North Carolina, and then that was on a Saturday during the day. Flew into North Carolina that night, and it was raining. And I drove out to the Reed Mine, had a great meeting with all the North Carolina chapters. Those people are so into it, and it was just so apropos because the meeting was at the Reed Mine, and that was so cool to be at the Reed Mine. Picked up a new Reed Mine gold shirt, gold mine t-shirt, which aptly admits that Reed Mine was the first gold in the state.
All right.
I still laugh because I still almost get in arguments with people out here that California was not the first gold rush.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's
We
but they're
know this. We know this.
that miners know that, but there's a lot of people that will argue with you. And I'm not even talking about the state senate of the state of California that didn't even realize that there was a rocker box on the state seal of the flag of the state of California. That's a whole other just an ugly thing to go down.
You know it's bad when they look and go, "Oh, is that what that is?"
Yeah. That gets mentioned in the Senate hearing, and you see all the senators looking up at the flag, going, "Oh,
that's what that is."
I thought that was a baby. I thought that was a baby carriage.
Yeah, and then they go, "What's a rocker box?"
Yeah. and then you wait. Well, we'll see about changing the seal on the state of California flag.
That's just bad.
Well, there was a big initiative to change the state rock of California because serpentine is the state rock of California. But because there are certain types of serpentine that have the fibrous, that have the ability to create the fibrous for asbestos, let's change it. Let's not have that as our state rock anymore.
Really?
Wait, you got to be kidding me.
No.
That just makes your head numb.
It's California.
This makes me hurt.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
I was born there.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bob lives there
Thank you.
still.
Yeah.
I was born in Northern California.
No, and I'm sorry. I took this down a political road, and that should not have. I should not have done that.
No, we
Hey,
didn't,
let's talk about religion now.
we didn't say anything about political.
Hey, I was born on a military base.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's not your fault.
So what's your plans for the future now? So what do you got going on? Like, you did your stuff, you got your show, what you're looking forward to? Where are you going?
My life is what I'm doing, man. We've got gold shows coming up, and I am so thrilled that gold shows are coming back. Yeah, I mean, we had to. I'll talk about you in a minute. Scott.
No, I'm just pumped.
I'll give you your plug.
I'm pumped about the gold shows coming back. Thank God, because I've talked about the last 2 years about the gold shows. People like, oh, when they come in, I'm like, well, it's COVID. They're coming back. I have talked my yin yang off about going to the gold show. There's going to be a lot of people there this year, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I haven't seen our pre-sale ticket numbers. I haven't really seen those lately. But there's a huge amount of interest, and let's see, Pomona would have been the first show in 22 months. So now it's going to be 23 months since there's been a GPAA gold show when Phoenix opens their doors. And
that's a while.
And I still think, and it's sad because a lot of people still think that Pomona was canceled. It's been rescheduled. And I got to tell you, I know that the Fairplex they weren't happy about it as well, but here it is. LA County made a decision to change what they classified as a mega event from 1,000 people down to 500. So, we really didn't have any choice in the matter.
Right.
The only way that we could have done it, where we could have allowed more people based on LA County's regulations, was if we asked if you had and I want you to think about this because you've all been to a gold show. You're going to stand in front of the building and ask people if they got a current vaccination card or if they've got their proof of a negative COVID test within the last 48 hours.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that going well.
I'll go wrestle an alligator in Louisiana before I would sit there and start doing that.
Hey, that's fun as heck. You don't even know.
Yeah.
You know, it's
a headlock, man. You just got to keep him in the headlock. Like, what?
That hurts me that he makes that remark.
Well, I did it. I'm serious.
I believe you. I don't doubt that in any way, shape, or form. It just hurts.
Hey, sometimes you're hungry.
Yeah. There you go.
Although I gotta say, it's been since 1998 since the last time I've been to a GPA Go show.
98.
98.
Wow. That long?
Why?
Well, life, I became a carny.
They wouldn't let you out on a pass just to go to a gold show or anything?
I became a carny.
There's nothing wrong with that. Pardon me. Oh, so and I'm really excited because we've got a lot of things. Gold Bay is the sponsor of the gold now, Dave.
Right.
And Dave is committed to a lot of gold for the panning area. And then of course Dave does stuff that Dave just doesn't tell us about because it's Dave. He's right. Dave's an amazing guy. If you haven't ever had a chance to sit and talk to him, you've had him on before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Dave is Dave is an amazing conversationalist. And I just love having conversations with him and cause you never know where they're going to end up.
Yeah. Me and my ex-partner, we did have some transactions through him, through Gold Bait when he first opened up way back when.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we got some stuff just to, like, we used to do pay dirt bags, so we throw an extra kicker in and stuff like that. And it still made it worthwhile for people to get in on gold and start figuring out how to pan, how to do their things. So
right.
Yeah, we used to, he's got good stuff. Good stuff.
I remember the very first day that Gold Bay came to life. And I was one of the first, and Dave and I've talked about this over and over. I was like, I've been with Dave since day one, literally day one, since Gold Bay became Gold Bay.
Right.
And it started getting out there and it's just an amazing success story. So with that, you think about that and with Dave sponsoring the panning zone this year, I just have no idea what to expect. And the panning zone is over 100 feet now, right around 3 ounces of gold per show.
Wow.
all of these other things that are happening. So
I can guarantee it's going to be shiny. I can tell you that right now.
of course it is.
If it's not shining in your pan, it's copper.
Yeah. Oh,
No copper zone.
yeah.
Oh, his gold's always been shiny, like
Oh, yeah.
shiny.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the lecture series, like for Phoenix, we've got some great speakers for Phoenix, and it's let's see, who do we have? My goal this year was to not speak if I didn't have to be able to find a whole lot of people that would really be engaging. And one of the first people that came to one of the first people we were able to get to have as a speaker is Ellie Ringo. Ellie Knows Rocks, and Ellie's on Frozen Gold.
Yeah. I was gonna say Ellie on Frozen Gold.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that she is an extremely brilliant person. I mean, she's a PG, she's a professional geologist, knows the geology of Arizona probably better than most people I've ever met. And she'll be talking about why and where of gold in Arizona, which is really going to be cool. And of course, Bill Southern, Mike Pung talking about fine gold recovery. Bill Southern's going to be talking about metal detecting. And then we got this guy. I gave him a chance a couple of years ago. He didn't do too bad. That's going to be talking about dry washing.
Yeah.
You know, my biggest problem with him is that, kind of like today, he showed up just a minute or two before he was supposed to speak, and so on like that, and everything else. But Scott Swiftwater was doing a lecture on both Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
On dry washing. And the most important thing to me is not only will Scott be speaking in Phoenix, but Scott is committed to be speaking in Columbus, Ohio, about dry washing both days during the Columbus, Ohio show.
Have you, Scott? Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, we're supposed to be there, baby. We're going to be there.
Well, I've already put it on the Facebook, on the GPAA Golden Treasure Show Facebook page. So he's already listed that he's got to be there. So no matter what, he has to be there.
I will be there.
Yeah. I remember how hard it was for me to get a commitment from him the first time to actually remember all of that.
It's hard from like that all the time from him.
What's not? I told you I would come, and I would come. You're like, "Oh, you're late." I'm like, "What do you mean? You just opened the gates." I'm like, "You're the first guy." I'm like, "I didn't know I was the first guy."
But you're supposed to be early.
Well, I was early, but I'm not going to be. The thing is I do not want to, like, back in the day when the GPAO shows were done, the first 100 people got a little bit of gold.
Right.
Starter gold.
I don't need to be the first 100 person.
Well, you just say you don't want it. I'm a celebrity.
Have you ever seen a guy handing you gold and you tell him, "I don't want it"? You just look like an idiot.
You're going to have a pass to get in. You won't get those privileges anyway.
Okay.
Right, Kevin?
Oh, I don't even know if we're going to let him in. Not now. No, I'll let him in. I need him to show up. So I'll let him in
Early.
Are we going to do a live show, Tim, while we're there?
Supposedly.
All right, cool.
And that's at Columbus, right?
That's in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pulling up the GPAA Golden Treasure page right now. I may ask you if I can share the screen for a moment.
Oh, hold on a second.
Well, not yet. Let me see if I can find it.
You know what's really funny, Kevin, because I've been putting, like, since me and White Gold's been digging this whole year, I've been putting everything into what I want to talk about at the gold show. Like little bitty things, air dynamics, up, down, like how you tilt your box, how you set it up. You know, the biggest thing is, you remember, I know back in the day you said, you know, if you can't pan gold, you can't find gold, right? My biggest thing about dry washing is, if you don't build your machine at home, you can't build it in the desert. So make sure you got all your parts.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, you know, I still want to take you out and teach you dry washing the way that I learned.
Oh, I'm on for it, Kevin.
Look, this guy's I'm on for it.
Come on down, Kevin.
Oh, he wants us to come on up to where he's at. He's got a better place. He says.
Oh, yeah.
You know how I learned how to dry wash?
How's that?
With a Navajo blanket.
I was gonna say you wind tossing.
Yep.
I know wind tossing.
Yeah, I learned dry washing by winnowing, and it was amazing.
So you could demonstrate that, Scott, at the show.
No, you cannot. Kevin, explain this to Tim. You just cannot demonstrate that. It just doesn't happen out of nowhere.
Yeah, I wanted it to dry pan. That's what I wanted to try. Was dry
Okay.
pan.
Do you know how?
Not really.
I've showed him a couple times, but he's not catching on.
What pan do you use?
I'm actually trying to show him out of a classifier.
The classifier part. But we got the Garrett 15 inch.
Look, he's thinking, what? Now you got to remember, we classify stuff. Our stuff we classify down into 8 mesh, and I keep teaching him how to do it like in a classifier. It's the same way as in a pan. Gold always goes to the bottom. Take away the top, and then when you get down, you look through the bottom stuff. Same thing as a gold pan. You could have a super sluice. Same thing. You just shake it. You come back. You shake it. What's ever in the bottom, you look through it. The gold should be there. It's 19 times heavier than water. It will be there.
Did you teach the guy how to dry pan with a classifier full of holes?
Right.
Yeah, but nothing's going through the holes.
It still makes 0 sense.
Well, I won't even find the big holes.
No, it actually does make sense. It does make sense. So, yeah. Hey, if I can share my screen for just a second, I'll show you some of the people that we've got for the Golden Treasure Show in Phoenix. And we'll just start right here. So right off the bat, we have
Hey.
Oh, that's just cool.
some guy named Swiftwater. That's one of our speakers. And then we also, and this is one that a lot of people are telling me they're pretty excited about. Melody is doing a talk on on Saturday only about the untold stories of Gold Rush.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't seen her on there in a few years now.
Well, she's been pretty much gone. So
Kevin, Kevin, is that Saturday only?
Saturday only.
No,
And-
is that the GPA in Phoenix or
Yeah, in Phoenix. This is the first show. This is all about Phoenix right now.
Yeah.
So Saturday only.
Yeah, Saturday only. And I've got the schedule of the times, but they're on another computer
Uh-huh.
that in the next break I can go grab those. I can grab those and let everybody know. And then of course we have Bill, who will be doing a talk on metal detecting, Mike Pung, and then Ellie Ringo.
Nice.
I am so excited to have Ellie on. I mean, I've had the opportunity to listen to her a couple of times on just in conversations about different things, and her depth of knowledge is amazing. She's going to have a booth set up there too to show off a lot of her specimens and different things that she's found over the years. So, really, really good stuff. And of course, our major prize raffle, a couple of new companies. I'll stop to share.
Cool.
A couple of new companies this year. GeoSluice is giving us some things and just cool stuff. So,
Nice.
with the usual suspects, Keen, Royal, Mine Lab, Nocta through Calico. It will be
Proline
Nocta.
gonna be there.
Now, Jeff is so busy and so buried under, it's tough for him to do shows. And quite frankly, I wouldn't ask him to do a show because Jeff is just doing it, man. He's out there just knocking it out of the park. So it's tough. It's tough.
Now, did I see a Mine Lab Xterra 705 in that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Mine Lab. We will have Mine Lab Xterra 705s, and we'll also have Gold Monsters.
That was my very first machine I ever metal detected with.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Did you find
I
gold with
loved
it?
it. Dude, I
Good.
fell in love with the CTX 3030.
Okay. I
I dropped something.
Yeah, it was like it's a metal detector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I have some really fond memories of working with the CTX before it came out. So I've got some really fond memories of that machine.
You've been around them like the metal detectors like for how long? Like 15 years?
Been around what?
15, 20 years. You've been around my labs doing things with those guys and testing stuff like that.
Since 1986, dude.
Yeah, that's quite a while.
It's longer than 15 years.
Just a
What are you,
tad bit
60?
longer. Yeah. Yeah. 1986 when when Bruce Candy came out with the very first Mind Lab detector, the Gold Seekers 1500 or 15,000.
I wouldn't even.
I grabbed that machine and I still have it. I still have one of the very first Mind Lab, or that group of the very first Mind Labs ever built. And then over the years, the 16,000, the G and all of those. And I pushed Mind Lab because you could tell when I got that Gold Seekers 15,000 in my hand, it was ugly, it was clanky, it was heavy, but it was an amazing detector. And then with the GT, with the 16,000 and the GT and everything else that they did, I've been all in since the very beginning.
So if you had three guys come in your driveway, do a donut, go, woo, we're going to metal detector. You got 5 minutes. What are you going to grab?
I don't answer that question. Sorry.
Nice try, though, Scott.
I can tell you they're all three right behind me.
Well, I'm just saying, which one? What's your go-to? What's your go-to? That you just like the sound, like the way it moves. Like, what's your go-to? I know you got so many. I mean, you got a lot of them.
I do have a lot of detectors, but and people ask me this all the time. What is my go-to machine? My go-to machine is really based upon
where you're at,
where I'm going to be going.
Yep,
and
exactly.
And I know that's tough because I've been doing this for so long and I've got so many machines, and I understand that that's really not an answer that somebody that only has a machine or is looking to buy a machine.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just okay. Say you're going to be walking a lot and covering a lot of field. What's your go-to on that?
Walking a lot and covering.
Yeah.
So I either want something that's going to be lightweight or, I still can't answer that question.
How about
Yeah, I know it's hard.
But do you like the smaller coil or the big coil?
you had to get rid of all your detectors except for one. Which one would you keep? Out of all your detectors? You have to get rid of all of them but one. No other option. You only could choose one.
It was like I'm not answering.
Well,
I'm not going to answer that.
I'm not answering.
No, I'm sorry, guys. You got to remember, I'm in a position where I represent a whole lot of different manufacturers.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I'm not going to drive. I'm not going to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now for me, I sold my 705. I sold my Knox 600, and I got the CTX 3030. But I would love to have a Mind Lab Gold Monster 1000.
I bet you would.
I really do.
It is the Gold Monster 1000 is by far one of the best machines I've seen that has come out for introducing people into gold prospecting, because it is so easy to use,
plug and play,
and it does so good of a job. I mean, it just works no matter what you do.
Would that be your opinion for like a first machine for an actual metal detectorist looking for gold, just not on the beach or stuff like that, but actually looking for gold in the mountains?
You know what, when people ask me that question, I recommend 3 machines. I recommend 3 machines right now on a constant basis. The MindLab Gold Monster 1000, the Garrett White's 24K, and the Nocta Oryx Gold.
Now, see, I would have probably thought of the Gold Monster 1000, the Gold Bug 2, and then what was the other one? I can't remember the third one, but no.
There's only one reason that I don't recommend right off the bat a Gold Bug 2 to anybody that's just starting detecting. As far as I'm concerned, the Gold Bug 2 is one of, especially the Gold Bug 2 at 71 kilohertz, is a true professional detector's machine. It's used for that. The problem is, and it's, you know what, I'm sorry, it's not even a problem. The beginning challenge with that is learning how to operate that machine properly.
Yeah.
And the sounds.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing that I've seen with so many people that started with the Gold Bug 2, until they know how to match the machine to the ground and really take advantage of the threshold and really know how to absolutely tune that machine for the ground balance, I will say that more Gold Bugs have ended up in the closet than anything else, because people won't take the time to really learn their machine.
Hey, still this day, I got 2 Gold Bug 1s.
Yeah, so do I. I've got a super low serial Gold Bug 1. I've got a super low serial Gold Bug 2. Yeah, I mean, I've got so many machines, and I love my Gold Bugs. I mean, I absolutely love my Gold Bugs, and I, if I had to get rid of all my machines, or if somebody said I had to get rid of a few machines, I would tell you that the Gold Bugs would still be there. But you just have to learn. And the only reason I don't, like I said, the only reason I don't recommend that to somebody that's brand new,
it takes time.
It takes time. And in this day and age, I'm finding that more and more people want to be able to turn a machine on and go out and be successful.
Plug and play.
Still, even with a Gold Monster 1000, you still have to learn everything there is to learn about that machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have found gold with the Gold Monster 1000 that simply isn't there.
I still, you know what? I still believe that you have to pay your dues, earn your dues, or know your machine.
Yep.
Like this, say, plug and play. No, learn the sounds. If it's trash, it's trash. If it's copper, it's copper. If it's tin, it's tin. Learn the sounds.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to learn that is to dig it all until you figure it out.
Yeah. And even then, I mean, I just got finished writing a field review, a field report on the MindLab 6000, the GPX 6000, an amazing machine, absolutely an amazing machine. I mean, this thing has just, it didn't ramp up. I mean, for this, it didn't ramp up like this. That thing just went like that. I mean, into the industry, an amazing machine. But the first 2 weeks that I had that machine in my hands, all I did was I dug everything, no matter what. I listened to every sound that there was. There is no discrimination on it, because quite frankly, a good gold machine doesn't need discrimination. And I learned everything I could about that detector.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an amazing, amazing detector. But there are times where at first I kind of questioned some things, and I just had to learn not to question those things. I had to learn what I was listening to.
Well, I'll tell you what, in your opinion, Kevin, do you like a bigger coil or a smaller coil, or does it depend on where you're looking for gold?
It's all dependent. It's all absolutely dependent. I've got a GPX 7 or GPZ 7000 that I've got the standard coil. Then I've got the big 19-inch coil. I've got this 6000 that's sitting here now that's got the standard 14, and I've got the 17 for it. Changing the coil on the detector is like going to the truck and getting a whole new detector.
Right.
When MindLab came out with the first multi-frequency channel machine, and truly worked, it was the XT 17,000. And you had the two frequencies, and then when the 18,000 came out, you had the three frequencies. And every time you flip that switch, when you would flip that switch from 6.4 to 20 or 60, when you flip that switch, you just walk back to the truck and got a different machine. And when you change the coil, you go from having one machine to having another machine. I mean, it is just that important. And you set it up. When you change the coil on any machine, you have to start all over from the very beginning. And I've hunted, I've got a patch in one of my patches that I've hunted for years. I love it because I'll go in and maybe I've got a 6-inch coil on, and then maybe I'll put a 10-inch coil on, or maybe I've got a 14 and I'll go to a 17, or I'll go from a 14 to a 6. It doesn't matter. But the moment you do that, I find gold.
And I dig up every target, no matter what, even if it doesn't go up to gold. And the reason why, and I've heard a couple other people do this, a buddy of mine had hit a target and it was like, just trash metal. So he went past it, and he kept on doing it. Well, he decided when he went back, I'll go ahead and dig up that spot. Well, it was like a soup can, and inside that soup can was some gold.
Yeah.
So
you're talking about my old Prince Albert can thing, aren't you? You're making fun of me now, aren't you?
We're going to open up the phone lines in case anybody has any questions for you, Kevin.
Okay.
Now,
Dennis,
I was trying to say to Kevin earlier, I'm more of a beach hunter, not a desert hunter.
Right.
So I learned, 7-5 paired to the beach, to the desert, and then a Knox 600, and then a CTX. And, somebody was asking me about the Excalibur 2 with the 11-inch coil. What do you thought about that? And I basically said, it's more of a beach hunter than going out and hunting for nuggets.
Yeah, I would not. There's a reason that the Excalibur is a fully waterproof, fully sealed, fully everything detector. It's made to be used in a place where you need a fully sealed, fully waterproof, diveable detector.
Yep.
It's got the BBS technology, the 17 frequencies, just an amazing machine. But I'll tell you what, I would never use it. And I know, I've seen people use it on land, but like real close to the water, because you're going to go back into the water with it.
Yeah.
The CTX to me is the CTX is an amazing machine. It absolutely is. I love the CTX 3030, but it's not a machine that I use because if I don't do that much coin and relic hunting. If I'm going to get to a spot where I'm going to end up going in and like maybe an old home site or something.
All right, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
I like how he said,
Jim Grimes is Ray Russo calling from Juneau, Alaska.
Hey, Ray.
What's up, Ray?
Hello, Kevin.
How are you, buddy?
So I got a question for you. You've been on TV before. What would be your best advice for those people? I mean, because they send out feelers all the time about would you join this TV show? And you've done it more than I have, but I'd like to hear your advice as to what you'd tell people to do, whether you would go for it or whether you wouldn't. Because they actually asked me about going down there toward somewhere around the Grand Canyons and kind of look for that Aztec gold as well. But I turned them down just because it was too darn warm. I'm not going to go to the desert. I live in the water.
Right. Yeah. And I know that project that you're talking about, and that's the completely different project. I mean, that has nothing to do with what we're doing. Look, I'll say the same thing that I tell everybody. Don't ever do a spec show. Meaning that, hey, we're come out and do this, and we're trying to get this done, and then we're going to go try to find a network to buy it. Don't do a spec show. That's number one. And number two, if they want you to tell their story, then don't do it. I mean, it's just that simple.
Yeah, Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that I found. They were constantly trying to shove the climate change down my throat. They wanted me to use the words climate change. I don't believe in it. I can't sell something I don't believe in.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, those are I've turned down a lot of stuff over the years, a lot of stuff. And one of my first questions is and I've had, it's nice now that I'm under contract with A&E when people call and says, I'm sorry, I'd love to talk to you, but I'm under contract with A&E. And generally that right after that, the next thing I hear is a dial tone. So
click.
Yay me. But I for years I've asked people, is it a spec show? Yeah, it's a spec. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. Because you're going to do whatever you have to do to get that show out there, which means you're going to be, you may take a story and turn it around.
Yeah.
That, and I see that.
It was definitely tough. It's really cool. You're going to get to hang out with Ellie Ringo. I think that's pretty cool. Like you said, she is talented.
Oh yeah.
We have no idea if we're going to do that again. I mean, because like you said, it's a spec show, so they have no idea if there's going to be a season 2 or not. But realistically, I am really super excited about watching your show because I've always been interested in that Aztec gold. They had to have had a gold deposit or a gold. I don't know if they were gold panning or what, but them damn Indians had to have been getting gold from somewhere, and then they had to figure out a way to refine it and make jewelry. So I'm looking forward to your show big time.
A lot of that gets addressed.
Good.
And I that's all I'm going to say. That's all I can say. Wait till after, you know what? Let's do this again at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Or after the first show. Matter of fact, I mean, if you wanted me to come on like after every couple of episodes or something like that, we kind of do that. I'm more than happy to do that. But it's like I said, I don't even know the order. I mean, I don't even know what the order is, but and right. I mean, I'm a miner. I don't look at things as, are there treasures here and there? Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Because I'm a treasure hunter also. But I look at things
I've never been a treasure hunter. I've been always just doing mining, trying to find out, okay, they had to have found the gold somewhere. Where did they find the gold?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyhow,
next question.
It's really good to see you on Gold Prospector Space again, Kevin. Man, you're the man.
I miss being here. My schedule's been so screwy lately that it's just, quite frankly, the month that I took off for filming, I'm still catching up from some of that.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Tim Grimes, Dennis Dayton, Rich Cooley, Swiftwater. Thank you guys for every Sunday. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, brother. You take care.
Yeah. I'll catch you all later. You guys have a great night.
Thanks, buddy.
We'll see you, man.
Bye.
You take care now.
Later, Ray.
He's such a cool dude.
Yes.
He's such a good dude.
Yeah. Yes.
He's bad Santa's.
Cocktail miner.
9 days up there in Alaska with them, and man, you talk about a blast. That was a blast.
He's just a great guy.
Yeah, he is. He's just a good dude. I mean, there's people that'll call him a good guy. There's people that say he's a good person. He's just a good dude. Yeah.
I'm glad you leave me out of your conversation.
Right. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Caller, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Carlise.
You got a question for Kevin?
Yeah, I do.
There you are.
What's his feelings, his take on a Mine Lab Excalibur 2 with a 10-inch coil?
Who was just talking?
Did you hear the question, Kev?
Excalibur 2 with a 10-inch coil.
Yeah, what's your take on it?
Yeah.
I didn't know there was an Excalibur 2 with a 10-inch. I thought there was a Excalibur 2 with the 11-inch. I didn't know that. Is it an aftermarket coil or is it the factory coil?
Well, I don't know. I bought the thing used, and I don't know much about it, but I'm still trying to learn about it.
The Excalibur, the Excalibur metal detector has, since its very, very beginning, you know, the Excalibur 2 took care of a few things that really needed to be taken care of for a machine that had gone through a long cycle. And instead of like ending the life of the machine, they made a few changes to it and then brought out the Excalibur 2, and it's still one of the most solid water hunting machines, underwater machines that there is.
Yeah, I bought it at a estate sale. I thought it was pretty cheap. I've seen them advertised, you know, well over $1,000 or so, but I got mine for like $250.
You stole it. You stole it. Yeah.
I stole it. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you stole it.
Yeah, you stole that machine.
It don't have a manual with it to where I can read up and learn anything about it.
Okay, so if you have access to the internet, go to minelab.com and you can follow the links and you can find every manual for every Minelab detector ever made. And you can download those manuals as well.
I know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's as good as having the book in your hand.
It is. And believe me, there's been a few that I've printed the manuals for people because they just, you know, they didn't have access to a computer or something.
And there's a lot of good instructional videos on YouTube on every type of.
Who's calling? Who's the caller?
What's your name, caller?
I'm John Ryan.
Okay, check out on YouTube Robert Ferguson. He does a lot of metal detecting with the Excalibur 2.
Oh, Robert, yeah.
Yeah,
he is a beach hunter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about Ferguson.
follow
Yeah,
Robert all the
absolutely.
time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Well, hopefully that helped you. Hopefully some.
And even watching the YouTube videos and everything else like that, I still suggest you download the manual.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the best thing is to understand the very, very basics of it, how it was designed, why it was designed, everything else, and learn that part of it. So that way, as you start watching other things, you'll see how those actually drop in comparison to what the beginning is.
You know,
it gives you a lot of growth space.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've seen it, and I was like really intrigued with the style, the layout, everything. And I said, so I got to have this, you know. And so I paid the man, and I walked out the door. But yeah, I just was curious. But to all of you, Tim Grimes and Kevin, Luke, Dennis, and Swiftwater, especially, and Ray Russo, if you're listening, y'all. Thank you for such a great show, and I'll get out of here and leave you all alone. But I'll definitely go to this site. And thank you guys all for what you do.
You're welcome.
So,
yeah. Thanks for your phone call.
You're very welcome, buddy. Thanks.
I was going to say it makes it even better when you call in. So.
Right.
Yep.
Good luck.
All right, guys.
Take care, buddy.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah, you know, I used to be nervous about some of the questions that I may get hit with when I'm on this show, but it's last few years it's been like, yeah, bring it on, man. Let's just have fun.
But you got to admit, the people on the show have great questions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah.
You know, and if you know the answer, you're daggone going to give it to them. But if you don't, you're going to either guide them in the right direction, or we'll figure it out. You know.
Yeah. Oh, he's cool. You haven't never been hit with nothing, really.
Yeah, we don't have to steer wrong to say, hey, turn right, you're going to go off a cliff.
And then there's always Scott. Left turn.
Takes care of all that. Yeah.
Hey, man, you can't mess with NASCAR, baby.
Yeah, I can. I will.
It's next generation cars. You know what? These things are so phenomenal right now. You know what? Check it out one time this year.
You know
Kevin,
what, Scott?
one time.
That means as much to me as Oak Island does to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Left turns for 100 years, and the next 100 years, they're still going to be making a left turn.
Right.
I had this
That's
set
right.
up, man. You know what? You know what's even for you know what's really phenomenal?
What?
Gold prices, baby. I'm going to tell you what. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal.
Just tell us, because we know you can't stand not to. So just
we are right now at 1993 for the asking price, up $1.88, but that's 1973.
Oh.
1973, folks. That's almost $2,000.
That's awesome.
Oh, you know what, Tim? I know you're gonna love this.
Silver
went up too. Now it's at 25.73. It's almost back to 26.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
You hung in there, buddy. You hung in there.
Hey, always.
All right. We got platinum. It actually went up plus 43. It went to 1132.
Uh-huh.
We got palladium coming in at the big old asking price of $3,080. That actually went up to 213.
Was that palladium? Did you say
Yes.
palladium?
Yeah, or palladium. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then
Tomato.
Yeah. We got then our always favorite, because nobody knows what the hell it looks like anyway. Rhodium. It went up actually $300 to 19 grand.
Okay. Woo! I'm gonna ask you like always. What about the Bitcoin?
Well, guess what? Bitcoin is not. You can't. No, I'm not playing Bitcoin with you.
Bitcoin's like NASCAR.
What Bitcoin?
Jared,
when you could put a Bitcoin in my hand, I'll tell you it's tangible. Other than that,
is one of those race cars sponsored by Bitcoin? Here's another
I'm
caller.
sure there is.
All right, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Kevin.
Larry Englehart, Menifee, California.
Hey, Larry.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, buddy? Kevin's
Good.
coughing.
I had one simple question for Kevin.
Larry.
Kevin, you hear him?
Yep.
Okay, go ahead, Larry.
Yeah, Kevin, how are you?
I'm great, man. I am great. Thank you for your one simple question.
Next caller.
No, man, Larry, I'm doing great.
Well,
It's been
you make any more Gold Trail shows, or are those out of the picture?
No, you know what? I'm never going to say that Gold Trails is out of the picture. The format of Gold Trails is out of the picture. Just simply, it's so hard to get on the network and do these different things, and the cost is just unbelievable. I still would like to turn it into something that's more of a YouTube educational program and just stay within that genre and just keep it that way. But time, it's a matter of time. It's when can I jump up and go out and do some filming and do this and do that. So I'll never say that Gold Trails is gone. The original format absolutely is gone. And there was one network that looked at Gold Trails that talked to me about Gold Trails, and it wouldn't work because I just don't do the drama. I'm not going to fight. I got enough drama in my life just simply trying to get from the bedroom to the kitchen in the morning. So
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I just have one little update on what you guys said. Robert Ferguson, for the last 2 years at the beach, has been using the Knox 600, not the other one you guys mentioned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thank
But he
you.
does have.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Larry. Sure. Thank you, Larry. We appreciate it.
Okay. Appreciate your time.
All right.
All right.
Take
Larry,
care.
good hearing from you, man. I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Yeah, I've been hiding.
That'll do it.
I'll see you later. Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right, buddy.
All right, there.
Yeah, I love that Gold Trails, man. I absolutely love that. Watch that.
Yeah.
By the way, Bitcoin's at 38,350-ish.
Ish.
Ish.
I love the ish. That means it could be what did you say it was?
38,350
Ish.
ish.
Okay, that means it could be 54,000 ish tomorrow or $1.25 ish tomorrow.
All about ish. Here's another caller. All right. Hello. You have to turn down your speakers, caller.
I thought I had it off.
Nope. There you go. Nope. Not yet. Still.
Question for Kevin.
All right.
I have an IDX Pro with a Black Max 950 coil on it. I've done a lot of findings in metals, coins, and all that, but I've yet to find any gold with it. I would like to try to use it on the river here in Vermont, but I kind of want your thoughts on it, Kevin.
Well, I'm going to say you've actually stumped me because I'm not even familiar with that machine. Like the actual operation of it or anything else. Hold on just a second. Let me look at something. I might be familiar with it.
Mm-hmm. He's looking.
Hey, what was the name of that machine again?
It's the White's IDX Pro.
It's an older model.
Yeah.
Something that I could afford at the time. I think I gave $175 for it at the time when I bought it, probably 5 years ago.
Right. Does the IDX, because I mean, does the IDX have an actual all metal mode on the machine that you can still run a threshold on?
No, I'm looking right now. Geez, I don't see a button for all metal. I mean, I got black sands, normal, frequency, my disc, and sense. It's definitely not one of the higher dollared machines.
Right. No, and can you put him on hold, take another caller, or do whatever while I research this real quick?
Yeah, we'll just
Does it work out that way?
With you, and Kevin's gonna research it. So just keep listening, and he'll give you that answer. Okay.
I can chat and go from there.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, he's gonna. That way you could keep looking.
Yeah, the IDX Pro was really designed as a coin and relic machine, and I don't even think it has a true all metal mode on it. And it would have to, the IDX would have to do that because that was really a coin and relic driven machine. So I'm stumped on that one. You know what? I can't answer that. I can't really get a good look at what it looks like.
Right.
That's fine. I mean, as far as you know, it's for relics and
Stump the Hoagland. Yay.
Yeah, that's really like one of the first times I think I've ever been stumped.
It's very unusual. Next time you're on, we're gonna have to have a contest. It's called
you can stump Kevin.
Stump the Hoagland. They can stump Kevin, they win a prize.
What do they win?
I don't know yet. We'll figure it out.
You know what? That could be priceless.
It could be. You could probably get all kinds of good questions.
Stump Kevin Hoagland.
Yeah.
That's right. You'll never know what questions are coming at you or which way they're coming. But, hey,
but they'd have to be.
If you know the answer, you could win.
That's good.
It actually has been done before where people
really?
have. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Here's what I need.
Did you find it? Ish. Ish.
No, I would say looking at it, it does have a black sand mode on it, but the black sand mode is going to be more of an iron discrimination than anything else, which leads me to believe that, and I don't see anything that says that we have an all metal mode. Yeah, I'm gonna say that if you could, no, I'm gonna say no. I wouldn't use it for that. I'd put it in I would put it in the black sand mode and see if it would, if you could actually ground balance it and get a threshold set. That would be the extent of what I would do with it.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin.
That's cool. I like that.
Let me ask you something, Kevin.
Yeah.
When you go across a piece of gold, doesn't it read on a certain megahertz?
No, there's
Or a
no such
certain-
thing. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Is there a frequency that we know that responds the very best to gold? Yeah, there is.
Fine.
There is a frequency.
16.2, 16.4, 16.6.
I know. I there's a frequency. Okay. There's a frequency, but unless you are prospecting in the vacuum of space and you run across a piece of 24 karat gold, that's the only way that a singular frequency would be proper. There's no such thing as pure gold on this planet. There's no such thing. And everything else that's associated with it. If you've got iron, if you've got iron soils, if it's a piece of gold that has a high copper content or a silver content or an iron content or anything else, that would make the frequency, the singular frequency would be, that's the only thing to make it work. It'd have to be pure in the vacuum in space.
You know what's really funny is because like down here in Arizona, it's pretty, you got to admit, it's pretty good. I'm not saying pure, but it's pretty darn shiny. It's pretty clean.
Okay, you broke up or froze up a little bit, Scott. I didn't hear your whole remark.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, I said that when you're down here in Arizona, it's shiny. When you go up to like say North Dakota, that's where they get the rose gold stuff.
Sure.
It's got more copper in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Alaska is kind of looks like ours. It's good similarity. It's pretty shiny.
Yeah.
And then you have some, like I said, you got North Carolina gold, Indiana, Ohio. That's all pretty shiny too, because it comes from Canada, which we all know laser pushes. But you would think that, it's all holds gold. You would think there would be something that would read just the gold. Now,
right.
I'm not saying it's never going to happen, but you think that like the new tech and the stuff coming out like that, like people would really be putting forth the effort to just find that the way it reads. You think it's possible or not?
I think it would be possible. And I know people that have been working on it for decades. Do I believe it's possible to have a gold only detector? Yes, I believe that it is going to be possible someday to have a gold only detector, but that's going to be based upon eliminating everything else in the world. That's what you're going to have to do.
Right.
Because if I've got gold that's 40, if I've got gold that's 12% copper, if I've got gold that's 4% copper, then that copper is still going to have it's going to have a say in the matter.
Yeah.
So
like Australia gold is what, 9 karat Australia. And then when you go to Alaska, it's almost 22 karat,
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Right. So yeah, I know people that have been working on that for decades. Well, I believe it will happen. Yeah, I believe it will. Technology has gotten so good over the last few years of real discrimination in a lot of different fields, like on the coin and relic side. But when you really look at the very, very best gold detectors in the market right now, they are absolutely non-discriminating machines. Because if you try to discriminate, it's either going to eat up a lot of the energy that it takes to find that subtle target, or it's just not going to work.
What's fantastic is, you could have a machine that could read all gold. But you know what's really funny? If you pass over that 2 foot in diameter freaking meteorite, that would have paid you $19 million.
Yeah,
you're gonna feel bad.
Sure, sure. Oh yeah, and believe me, I can tell you, There is a gentleman that lives here in Arizona that is a phenomenal meteorite hunter that was using the wrong machine to go meteorite hunting at one point.
Wow.
And he walked over one. The good thing is that the person that found it was part of his team. So he managed to save. I mean, that one wasn't quite as embarrassing as it could have been.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny, Kevin? Back in the day when I first started using the Fisher Go Bug 1, we were in actual quartzsite, and I lived there for a year and a half. And we used to go out, and we'd be way out. I'm like, I'd pick up stuff like, looks like, well, who the heck's going to be welding out here? And you pick up like 5 or 6 things. You know what we did with them? We threw them back down the dirt. And I was like, now I figured out what those were. And I'm like, oh, I'm so bummed.
Yeah.
It happens in Swiftwater's
Yep.
world.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, who the heck welds way out here in the desert? There's no way.
Aliens.
No, it was freaking. It was particles off. It was a meteorite.
Well, you've heard my story about hunting up in the Gold Basin meteorite, haven't you?
Gold Basin.
Yeah, up in Gold Basin, that meteorite up there.
No.
We were out
Are you talking
hunting.
about the big hole?
No. This was just a strand field. This is just a strand field that went out across Gold Basin, and a lot of stonies, but there was some nickel iron out there. And at that time, there was like 4 or 5 of us that were out there hunting, and we didn't know anything about meteorites. I mean, we weren't looking for meteorites. We were gold guys. And I was picking up all these hot rocks, and I was just throwing them into my pouch, and they weren't gold. And a bunch of us started making this little rock cairn in the parking lot where everybody parked. And a few years later, there was a guy that was talking about it, and it was the meteorite man. There was a remark made by, yeah, I went out to this area and I thought I'd go out and do some hunting for meteorites, and sure as hell, there was just a whole pile of them packed up in a parking lot.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Well, hey, glad you collected the rocks for him.
Yeah.
Right.
Just made his life easy.
Yes, you did. And on that note, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Kevin, we want to thank you for coming by and hanging out.
Yes, man.
It's
been a great show.
Looking forward to the new show. Once again, that's March 29th, you said?
Tuesday, March 29th.
Tuesday, March 29th. 8 o'clock? 9 o'clock?
I believe it's 9 o'clock Eastern time.
Eastern? Okay.
Yeah.
And the name of it again is?
Lost Gold of the Aztec.
Lost Gold of the Aztecs. All right, Kevin, man. Thank you.
Now,
looking forward to it. And
in my heart, everybody that is listening tonight or is on the chat, anything, share that. Let's get this.
Yeah, please do.
This show out there. Get this show out here, guys. Come on.
Facebook, Twitter.
Yeah, just do it.
There is, if you just type it in on Google, there's a link to it where you can watch the promo. Just type in History Channel Lost Gold Aztec if you just want to shorten it up. There's a promo. You can copy that link and share it. I would appreciate it. I mean, I look, I don't do a lot of these things, and this is one that
Right.
I really, because of the way that it's being done, I absolutely embraced it because it's our story. It's our story.
Right. And that's cool.
It's like GPS. You're like Shatner of the GPS show. I'm just saying, let's share it. Let's get it out there. Let's
I
have
don't think I would have said that, Scott. But
That's like, I think I just got insulted. I really, I feel like I
What are you
just was
talking about,
insulted.
Captain?
I
You're
think he
good,
kinda
man.
gets the
It's not
point.
Oh,
insult.
Captain. Okay, Captain. Okay, I got it.
William Shatner. You never heard that guy?
He was
Yeah, I
saying,
know who he is. Yeah, I know
Let's
who he
say
is.
Captain Kirk.
Scott was saying, share the Shatner out of it.
Oh,
I'm just
share the
saying.
Shatner out of it. Oh, okay, I got it.
Kevin, we'll see you at the gold shows. Scott will
Yeah.
see you next week, and man, have fun. And
Yep.
we'll
Hey, we're gonna have fun. Trust me.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate being here. I really do want to come back in after the
Yeah,
first episode's
definitely.
gone because
no, that's cool.
maybe we'll have something we can talk about. So
We're in.
Watch party.
Yeah.
maybe we'll have a watch party. Somebody
Yeah.
can figure
oh, that
out
might be cool.
We did that with Frozen Gold. We did a watch party.
Okay.
Every week until it was over. We didn't show it on YouTube because, you can't.
Yeah.
But
right.
we would show it here and we'd talk about the show as it was playing. So it was really cool. I mean, if you're interested in something like that, let us know.
Well, and do me a favor after we drop off, if you stay online for just a moment, I've got something I want to throw out at you.
Yeah, Roger.
Oh, that just pissed off a whole lot of people in the audience.
Did he say pissed off?
Our little secret stuff. All right. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Don't forget to join us Wednesday for West Coast Wednesday at 9:00 Eastern Standard Time. Till then, we're out of here. We'll see you.
Good night, Go Diggers. We love you.
Good night, everybody.
Be sure to tune in next Sunday at 7:30 for another great show. For updates and more info, please go to www.prospectorsradio.com.